Hi, Sagittarius. I hope you guys are doing really, really well. My name is Brian. I am your queer psychic bestie, and I have a reading for you guys today. This is going to be a mid-month check-in for the sign of Sagittarius. So if you have Sag anywhere in your chart, if you vibe with Sag, maybe you're a cross-watcher, who really knows? This reading may resonate for you. As always, take what resonates and leave what does not. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you could do that through email or form submission on my website. Sag, please forgive me. I am a little bit late to your mid-month. The week into the weekend was just like really crazy for me for a lot of different reasons. But we are out here. We're getting your reading out. So yeah, please forgive me. We are doing a sort of like an open form reading today. I don't do like when I do the monthlies, I do a Celtic cross. For the mid-month, we do 6 cards across and we clarify by 2s. That just gives your guides the opportunity to really take me where they want to go. It's more of like a free form, gives me a little bit more wiggle room, so to speak. So without further ado, let's get into your reading. Bottom of the deck is your challenge. 3 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. Okay, 5 of Cups is there as well. Sag, your challenge for the remainder of August, this is for August, by the way, I think I forgot to say that. Your challenge for the remainder of August is like grief. You know, it feels like there's been some sort of disappointment here, specifically with some sort of commitment. 10 of Pentacles, this could be family as well. 10 of Pentacles is a family unit card for me, but can also talk about like longevity, work, like building some sort of empire here. And it feels like some of you guys had some sort of really big disappointment. And I feel like with the Knight of Cups in your challenge, it's giving me less of like, I don't think anyone is apologizing for this. I'm getting more so like you had given to this. Like this was something that you had engaged in and you had given time and effort and emotion into. And whatever this, I almost want to say crumble, you know, like whatever the crumbling was here, it feels like you're pretty upset about it. So let's dive in. Let's see what this is here to teach you. You start with the 8 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. So, I mean, you did give to this, okay? 8 of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune. 8 of Pentacles, this, again, could be work. It feels like you put a lot of effort, like time, blood, sweat, and tears into this. And with that Wheel of Fortune at the time, it was what you needed to do. You know, Wheel of Fortune is divine intervention, but also doing what you're called to. So 8 of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune is a really big energy of like, okay, I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to be affecting this in this way, and I'm meant to be doing this right now. So I do feel like this was a very positive move for you. Like I don't see, I think this was a good thing that you had invested in, is almost what I want to say. Regardless of whether or not it's over, it was put on your path for a reason. There was a lesson for you to learn here. There was something to gain from it. Hanged Man, trusting your instincts. The Devil in the reverse. And the 4 of Cups. I feel like this, whatever this was for you, Sagittarius, it was a very big learning lesson in how to trust yourself. You know, when we're talking about the Devil in the reverse and the Hanged Man, I almost said High Priestess, Hanged Man, card of Pisces, you could have Pisces in your chart. You know, the Hanged Man he hangs himself upside down to gain higher enlightenment. That's why in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, there's like a aura around the head, but for you guys it's sort of like a crown. It's depicted in this card. And the Devil in reverse is the release of a chain, a release of something binding you. The 4 of Cups is apathy. So it feels like, Sag, for a while here, you guys didn't trust your own inner voice. You didn't trust your intuitive voice, your intuition. It just feels like you were kind of, it's weird, the energy here. It's almost like you did it. Like you would do what your intuition told you to do, but you would, how do I explain this? Like you blamed it on something else. I don't know how to say this. Like, let's say my intuition today said, go get a tattoo. And I didn't listen. And then an hour later, my friend came up to me and was like, oh my God, I've been really thinking about getting tattooed today. And then I was like, okay, you're right. Let's go get tattoos. That sort of energy. It feels like you're not listening to the guidance when it's coming from within you. You're waiting from an outside source, or at least you were in the past here. You waited for some sort of outside source, a voice, a person, whatever it was, to kind of come in and be like, hey, you should do this. And then you were like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Whereas in the first breath, whatever your intuition told you should have been the first go. Like, okay, yeah, let me go do that. This is a very large lesson in trusting yourself and listening to yourself is what I feel. Yeah, you've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Fool, Leap of Faith, and the Star. Yeah. Sag, I feel like a lot of what this I almost want to say this job, whatever this experience was, whether it was a job, a relationship, who knows? Whatever the experience was, it really just was meant to hammer home for you that you have to be the decider, the mitigating factor here. You can't constantly be waiting on someone else or something else to give you direction. The good word, compass, my guides are giving me. You have to be your own inner compass. You have to be the judge of what's worth my time. What do I actually want to do? What am I passionate about? All these questions with the Star here and the Fool. I think there was a very deep healing that was meant to happen in regards to, I got to trust myself. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it. This is almost giving also like no one's going to stop me. No one should stop you. If I want to go out and get a tattoo right here, who's going to stop me? Nobody. Okay, it's like one of those moments where I feel like it was the inner voice, but also the willpower is what needed to be worked on. Like, do I have the willpower to listen to myself and go out and do what I want to do? Ace of Wands. Yeah, for sure. I feel like with the Ace of Wands here, again, can I follow my passion? Can I live a life? Can I live my truth? Can I live a life that aligns with me? Can I embody these ideas that I want to live by, I guess is the best way to put it here. I genuinely just feels like whatever this place was, whatever it was before the crumble, it was just a really big exercise for you of, okay, can I go after it? Can I listen to myself and can I go after the things that I want to do? Or am I going to stop myself? Now moving into what's currently going on, we've got the King of Wands in the reverse and the Tower. Babe, this is a roughie. It feels like even though this is crumbling, I feel like something else you've realized, I'm not picking my nose, just adjusting my nose ring, I promise. Something else you guys have realized here is that King of Wands in reverse is like the loss of passion. Like my heart isn't in it anymore. And I think that's part of the Tower moment. Like it feels like everything is crumbling. The tower's coming down, but you're also like, well, did I want it to stay up anyway? Was it even something I wanted to be there? High Priestess. Like I said, some of you could have Pisces in your chart with the High Priestess here. Eight of Cups and Justice. I almost feel like, Sag, what is really also telling about this reading is even had this crumbling not happened, feels like you would have walked away anyway. I know that's a hot take from me today. It feels like with the High Priestess, the Eight of Cups and Justice, I think a lot of you guys were also kind of, I keep hearing, what's worth my time? Like, is it worth my time? Is it worth my effort? With Justice here, that is karma. That is what you are worth. And it feels like with that Eight of Cups, a lot of you were in some sort of relationship here that was not reciprocal, whether it was a job, whether it was a romantic partner, a friend, family, who knows? And I feel like with that High Priestess, you realized this. There's a cognitive realization here of this isn't for me. And now I think as the Tower is crumbling is the moment for you to reorganize yourself and reorient yourself towards your true north, towards where you actually want to move, where you actually want to go. You've got the Hierophant here in the challenge. I think it's interesting that the Hierophant's in the challenge because I'm going to say something again, controversial but brave. I think what you were giving to at one point was really good, but then it became a little bit of a prison. With that Hierophant here, I think not allowing yourself out of the commitment imprisoned you. It sort of kept you, and you were like, well, I'm not going anywhere. And so this to me is almost reading as like a moment. I tell my clients and my collectives all the time, if we don't move ourselves, if we don't listen to our own intuition and do the things that we need to do, tower moments come in when the universe needs to throw us down 4 flights of stairs. Sometimes I always tell my clients and my collectives this next thing as well is like, you always want to be causing your own tower moments. I would rather chuck myself down a flight of stairs, prepare for it, put my padding on, get ready, and do what I have to do, rather than stand my ground until the very last second and then have the universe grab me by my ear because I don't have hair. If you have hair, grab you by your hair and then toss you down a flight of stairs. Do you see what I mean? When we cause our own tower moments, we have the time to process it and accept it. And sometimes that tower moment just turns into a walk down the stairs. It's not always the throw, but sometimes, like in this case, I feel like either way, had you done the tower moment yourself or the universe did, it would have been a toss. It would have been difficult for you. But I also feel like it would not have been this difficult for you. There would not be as much grief here had you caused it, is what I feel like. So to me, this also reads as a lesson of, when do I set myself loose? When do I set myself free? You know, I think a lot of us have issues with commitments feeling final. You know, a lot of people have an issue where they get into a commitment and then suddenly they're like, I can never leave this again. I think a lot of you guys, Sagittarius here, this was a lesson with Temperance and the Chariot of, maybe I don't have to stay in a commitment. Maybe I don't have to keep giving to something that's out of balance. Maybe I don't have to be the person in the room who is still there, even though they don't want to be. You know, I feel, of course, there's grief here. I feel it. Trust me. I get it. Your energy keeps saying it to me. You're like, I'm just really sad about it. You're going to be sad about it, Sag. That's normal. You have to remember that even sometimes and not even sometimes, most of the time, if we do something that's good for us, if it involves an exit along with it, we have to grieve that. We have to grieve that loss, that what's that called? Dissolving of whatever it is that we're leaving behind here. But I feel like some of you guys need to also remember that the pain will not be forever, okay? You will process it, and you will transmute it, and you will move on, okay? But right now, you need to feel it. You need to sit in the uncomfortability of it. You need to sit in that pain before you sort of learn the lesson. You know, if you just try to fast track past the processing of it and just like, okay, I'm going to learn the lesson first. You know, I'm going to learn it and then I'm going to move on. You're not processing. You're not actually feeling the feelings. You're almost narrating them. You know, you're intellectualizing them. One more, please, for this pile. Thank you. Yeah, 3 of Cups. I think a lot of you guys are also coming away here with a better understanding of community as well. You know, with that 3 of Cups, I think a lot of you guys, Sagittarius, have friends, interpersonal relationships here that are showing up and showing out for you right now. You know, I think people are sort of rallying around you, helping you through the grief, helping you through the processing of these really difficult emotions. And it feels like that's also a highlight for you as well, because you're seeing, oh, wow, this is community. These are people that are going to help me. These are people that are standing by me. I feel really good about this, as opposed to people that are just there to be there. You know, I feel like some of you guys, for those of you that this is like a work thing, I feel like you came from a place where it's almost like, this is funny how my guides are explaining this to me. It's almost like you were dealing with NPCs, like everyone outside, like in the workplace, wherever you were, wherever you left, was devoid of emotion, devoid of conscience, and then they were just kind of like same lines every single day. And I feel like now you're realizing, okay, this is like true community. I thought this was community, but this is actually community. Because your last 2 cards here are the 8 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. Sag, I feel like your mid-month is also here to remind you that sometimes, this is a tough message to give, things come in pairs. You'll hear that often. Some people say everything comes in 2s or 3s. It seems like with this 8 of Wands and the 10 of Swords, you're also contemplating sort of another ending at the same time that this ending is going on, which I think is really interesting. There's almost this feeling here of your intuition being like, okay, now that that's over with, get this over with too. Release this, move on from this. Let's see. I feel like some of you are tired. Yeah, 6 of Wands. You're like, wait, I don't want to keep doing this. You know, why can't I just let it be for a little bit? But I feel like 6 of Wands, 5 of Cups, and the 3 of Wands. I feel like a lot of you are also recognizing here that you can't leave things that aren't serving you laying around. I think that's what this lesson is also highlighting for you guys, is that you left this, like I said, laying around for a while. We didn't really deal with it. And then the universe chucked you down a flight of stairs. Now, I think you're kind of taking this momentum, literally, like imagine you went down the stairs and then you got up and you ran. You know, it's momentum in a funny kind of way. But it's like you're taking this momentum and now you're looking at 6 of Wands, 5 of Cups, and 3 of Wands. Wait, am I repeating a process? Is a cycle still open here? What about my life feels limiting to me right now? What about everything going on is keeping me sort of small and confined? And I feel like even though it's painful, I think you guys are ready. 2 of Swords. Yeah, you have a decision to make. Ace of Cups. I think a lot of you guys, the lesson here also in the mid-month and what's going to carry on into the rest of this month is, do I love myself enough to do it? Do I love myself enough to make a very tough decision, to get rid of something, to, you know, 2 of Swords is quite literally making a decision. Am I ready to take the blindfold off? If you notice in the 2 of Swords here, they've got she's got a blindfold on, and it's like the way my guides are saying this to me is, are you ready to undo it and then uncross your swords and make your decision? You know, it does feel like there is some sort of like another cut that's coming here. Like there's something that is either hitting the chopping block, you're getting rid of, you're walking away from, and I think you are ready, Sagittarius. I really do. I feel like this is a really positive way to end your month because it feels like it's going to set the tone for the next month, you know, and then for the rest of the year, you're like, okay, I'm not settling for this anymore. I'm not going to deal with people, places, things that are shitty to me. One more for this pile, please. Queen of Swords, you can't make it up. You're in the moment, babe. You really are. Queen of Swords is so powerful to end the reading, especially because it feels like a healed Queen of Swords. It doesn't feel like a problem Queen of Swords. You know, Queen of Swords in her power is very logical. She makes clear decisions. She's really good at communicating. And she just sort of, Queen of Swords for me is my card of like, in her power, she cuts through the bullshit. She gets right to the core of it. You know, I'm not beating around the bush. I'm coming right out and saying it, which is really positive. So it feels like the ending of this month is a super, super strong, you're ending on a really strong note, Sagittarius, and you're going into the next month with this sort of mental clarity. You know, Queen of Swords is also mental clarity. She's feminine air energy. So again, mental clarity, a lot of cerebral energy, and you're coming through as, okay, let's get to the bottom of it. Let's just cut right through it. It's a very positive way to end this reading, Sag. I'm going to get you an oracle card, but overall, this feels like, it's almost like rebirth. That's what this feels like to me, you know, literally the cycle of rebirth and coming out with like a really strong mental clarity and a really strong understanding of why this had to end and why you had to move on from it and what's next. You know, what else in my life isn't serving me? What else here is not helping me? Okay. I am using the Angelarium today. This is my favorite current oracle deck. I use it literally all the time. If you've watched any video by me, you've seen it. It's a reimagining of the Falling of the Angels. I love it. And it reads us to filth. So, let's see. What's the Sag mid-month advice, please? Sag mid-month advice, please. There's one card that I have. If it comes out, I'll die. The Angel of Ruin. We'll see if it comes out. Thank you. It didn't, but this card's on point with it too. It's the Destroyer. Ananiel. Ananiel? I don't really know how to say this, honestly, if I'm being so for real right now with you. This is pretty on brand as well, so let's read it. This is also his persona after the fall. So in the deck it's split to the personas before and after. So this is like after he fell from grace. And it is also number 87. Okay. There is an urge inside all of us to watch what we've built get destroyed. It's not always the correct choice, but all things come to an end eventually. It might be time to wipe the slate clean. There may be an opportunity to indulge in smashing something apart. Sag, this is looking really good. Okay, I feel like you're cleaning the slate here. You're getting rid of it's like you're tossing a lot of bullshit out the window. This feels really positive to me, and it just stay on that momentum. Keep going, babe. Okay. Sag, that is your mid-month check-in. I'm going to end your reading there. If this reading resonates with you, or my reading style happens to resonate with you, do consider liking and subscribing. We are on the road to 200 subscribers, so that's exciting. If you guys would like to talk to me, interact with me in a live basis, I do go live 3 days a week on Twitch, so you can find me Wednesday and Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. EST, as well as Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. EST. And then I also do have a Discord server. That's where you can find all of the information about, I post all the updates about streams on Discord, as well as all my links are there. Really anything you could need is on the Discord server, as well as just like a really lovely group of people, really beautiful community that we've built. So that's open for you. If you want the link, let me know in the comments. I'll get you guys a link, or drop by on one of the streams on Wednesday, and the mods are always posting the link. So Sag, I leave you with this. I hope to see you guys on Twitch, and I will catch you in the next video. Okay? Bye.